Tutorial Part 2, Creating the Apartment. In this tutorial, we will cover 3 different ways to create an apartment in Simon. First, we will create an apartment using an IoT provider, demonstrated with Fibaro. Second, we will create an apartment without using any IoT provider. And third, we will create an apartment by importing data from Stages. Let's start. The first option is creating an apartment using an IoT provider. If you already have an IoT provider integrated with Simon, you can quickly create the apartment and import all configuration directly from the provider. To begin, open Simon. On the main screen, go to the My Spaces list, click the Add New Space button. This opens the step-by-step process for creating a new apartment. First, fill in the general information. Adding an image is optional. You can drag and drop an image or select one from your hard drive. The image will then be uploaded into the Simon environment. The only required field here is the space name. Fields like house number, apartment number, town, and region are optional. However, the zip code is required. The country is also mandatory. This information is used to provide weather forecasts through external web services. Now we move to the next step. Here we have 3 available options: Matterport, Navis, and Stages. The first 2 options, Matterport and Navis, work almost the same way. The only difference appears on the final step. With Matterport, you paste the Matterport link. With Navis, you paste the Navis link. Otherwise, the workflow is identical. In this tutorial, we will use Matterport. Select Matterport and click Next. On the next screen, you will see 2 options: Import rooms or Create custom rooms. What is the difference? If your IoT provider already contains room configuration, you can simply import those rooms automatically. If you do not have an IoT provider yet, or if your provider does not contain room definitions, you can create custom rooms manually. In this example, we will use Import Rooms. In the next section, we will show you the Custom Rooms option. Now we see the list of IoT providers integrated with Simon, Nice Fibaro, SmartThings, Schneider Electric, and NeedX Automation. All of these providers work in a very similar way. After selecting one, you will be redirected to the provider's authentication page. There you simply log in using your account credentials. In this example, we will use Fibaro, but the process is essentially the same for all providers. Once the login page appears, enter your credentials. After logging in, Simon retrieves the list of IoT hubs connected to your account. This may take a few seconds. In most cases, a user will have only one hub connected to their account. This makes the selection very straightforward. In this example, we will select the SimLab Office Hub. After selecting the hub, click Next. Now we can choose the rooms. You can select all rooms or choose only specific ones. In this tutorial, we will import all rooms. Click Next. Now we need to provide the Matterport link. To do this, open Matterport. Find the scan you want to use. In this case, we will use the SimLab Office scan. Open the scan, then click the Share button at the top. Make sure the scan visibility is set to unlisted. Once that is done, copy the share link. Return to Simon and paste the link into the field. After a few seconds, a preview of the scan will appear. If the preview looks correct, proceed to the next step. There is also another option. Instead of pasting a link, you can log directly into your Matterport account. This allows you to access private scans and select them directly. Now we see the summary page. Confirm the settings. Simon will now import all the information from the IoT provider. This may take a few seconds. In this example, we see a success message. There is also one warning related to the Fibaro master room. This happens because Simon and Fibaro use slightly different default room structures. This warning is harmless. We can safely confirm and continue. Now we enter the editing workspace. At the moment, everything appears in grayscale. The first step is assigning scan points to rooms. Scan points are the circular markers showing where the camera was positioned during the scanning process. Each scan point must be assigned to a room. To begin, click the key icon. This opens the list of rooms imported from the IoT provider. Now we assign scan points to the correct rooms. For example, this area belongs to the corridor. Select the corridor and assign the scan points. Continue assigning each scan point to the appropriate room. This process is quick because you simply move from one point to the next. For this demonstration, we will configure only a few rooms. For example, this area will be the conference room, and this area will be the mark room. Now we have 3 rooms assigned. If you want to verify the assignments, switch to the room view at the bottom of the screen. Here you can see which rooms have already been configured. Another helpful feature is the Unassigned Points button. If any scan points remain unassigned, this button will appear. Clicking it automatically navigates you to the unassigned locations. Now let's open one of the rooms. Here we can see the devices imported from the IoT provider. The device names depend on the provider. For example, in the Fibaro ecosystem, devices are organized using a concept called a master device. A master device is automatically created by the system. If we open it, we can see all the components connected to that device. For example, lamps, lights, or other controls. However, you do not need to rename these devices manually. Instead, you can open the device structure. From here, you can display devices in the 3D scene and on the dashboard. When selected, the device becomes highlighted. You can also assign icons. For example, selecting a light bulb icon will represent the lamp on the dashboard. Another important concept is virtual devices. Sometimes a single physical device contains multiple sensors. For example, this motion sensor actually includes several internal sensors. It detects motion, it measures temperature, it also measures light levels. In some cases, it may even include an accelerometer or vibration sensor. All these sensors exist inside a single physical device. You can display this device as a single block. Everything is combined, as you can see here. Or you can open the settings. There, you can choose what to display. For example, show only selected sensors: the motion sensor, the temperature sensor, and the light sensor. You can hide others, like the seismometer or accelerometer. You also don't need to show the full device block. After saving changes, each sensor appears separately. Now they act as independent virtual devices. You will see 3 devices: motion sensor, temperature sensor, and light sensor. Each of them can be placed in the 3D space. Now, how to place a device in 3D? It's very simple. Click the device, then click the plus icon. Click again to confirm placement. The device appears in the 3D space. To change its position, use the Move tool. Place it anywhere you like. Repeat the same process for other devices. You can also place the same device multiple times. Click the device in the right panel, then click the plus icon again. You can add another instance, and one more. 3 instances is the maximum. Now you have 3 icons of the same virtual device in the space. Now let's check the settings. Here you can edit the device name. You can also change the icon. You can upload a custom image or select a category, for example, lights or sensors. You can also reassign the device to a different room if needed. After making changes, the setup is updated. For example, lights in the entrance area.